Hey there y'all, I'm Avery and today I've got a what's for dinner video for y'all. I want to get right into the video and I will link all recipes that I used in the description box below. It's my boyfriend and my 7-year anniversary tonight, so I'm going to make a bunch of different things. The first thing that I'm going to make is this Socca. It's a chickpea flatbread that's going to be topped with some arugula and pear. So I'm just going to take 1/2 cup of chickpea flour. This is the one that I use, Bob's Red Mill. 1/2 cup of that, and this is 1/2 cup of water. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and some black pepper. Whisk that up. Then what I'm going to add to this is I just took 1 garlic clove that I minced and 1 shallot, about 1/4 of a cup, that I just cut into thin strips. And I sauteed that in 1.5 tablespoons of avocado oil for about 1 minute. I'm going to make sure there's no clumps in here. I'm going to add, this is the shallot and garlic. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this pan back into the oven at 450 degrees to preheat for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to coat that in another 1.5 tablespoons of avocado oil and then pour the batter in. So I'll show you what it looks like once I'm there. I got the pan preheated at 450 degrees. I put 1.5 tablespoons of avocado oil and then poured the batter in, and now I'm going to put it back in the oven at 450 for 12 minutes. I just took the Socca out of the oven, and it's my fault it looks like this because the other side wasn't quite as crispy and I wanted to flip it and I got a little impatient and it broke a little bit, but the good news is that means I got to taste it and it actually tastes really good. So it's actually supposed to be eaten like a flatbread, so I'm just going to give my boyfriend the good side and I'll take the other side and just kind of have it crumpled up a little bit and it's fine. So in here I got some arugula, a pear, and then in here I've mixed up some olive oil, lemon juice, salt and pepper, about 1/2 tablespoon of the olive oil and lemon juice. I'm just going to pour that in here. That's going to be the topping for the Socca, and then I'm also going to grate over some Parmesan cheese. I'm going to do a quick little charcuterie board. It's not going to be anything too crazy, but I'm going to use these crackers, and I'm going to kind of give us 2 options to either do some smoked salmon with some softened cream cheese, and I'm going to chop up a little bit of dill to put on the salmon, and then I also got some Asiago cheese and salami. I don't have any of those little cornichon or whatever they're called, but I thought maybe just throw in some little pickle chips. These are so good and they're going to expire soon, so I think I'm going to throw those on. Got some grapes and an apple, and then I have some different nuts. I have some cashews, some almonds, and some pistachios. We're also going to have some lamb chops tonight. These I get at Whole Foods. It's Atkins Ranch and they're grass-fed, and this is supposed to be, I believe, the best lamb ranch in the whole world. So we're going to have those. I'm going to pat them dry on paper towels and then marinate them for probably 20 minutes in a mixture of some chopped rosemary, chopped garlic, and avocado oil, and then I'm going to cook them on the stove. Now that these have been marinating for about 20 minutes, I'm just going to wipe the seasoning off, then season with salt and pepper, and then cook it on high heat for 4 minutes per side. Here I've got some wild-caught crab legs, and I'm just going to bring some water to a boil. I have a steamer basket in here. I'm going to put the crabs in, cover, and cook for about 6 minutes. I'm going to make a quick dipping sauce for the crab legs in the microwave. I just minced up 1 clove of garlic. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of butter, a little bit of paprika, and a little bit of celery salt. If you have Old Bay, you can use that too. I'm allergic to a lot of the spices in there, so I can't use that. So I'm going to kind of simulate it with those. I might add a little bit more salt, but there's already salt from the celery salt, so I'm going to be careful. A little bit of black pepper. I'm going to warm that up in the microwave, and then once it's ready, I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it. Here's the final product for the Socca. It's the chickpea flatbread topped with arugula, pear, and Parmesan cheese. Here is our completed charcuterie board, and I'm really hoping I'm not allergic to this salami because it doesn't specify which spices are in it, so hopefully I'll be okay. If anything, I'll just break out in a rash. That won't go away for a month, but oh well. Here is the crab leg with the garlic butter sauce, and here are the lamb chop ready to eat. For our starter salad tonight, we're going to have a copycat Olive Garden salad, and you've got to have croutons for that. So what I did here is I just had some leftover bread from last week that I just cut into cubes, seasoned with some olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic powder, and some Italian seasoning. I'm just going to put it into the toaster oven at 400 for about 10 minutes. Here's how the croutons turned out. Some of them got a few little burnt spots, but for the most part, they turned out really good and nice and crispy. And I wish I'd added a little bit more salt, but I'm happy with how they turned out. Now I'm going to make the Copycat Olive Garden dressing, and I'm just going to do 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. I've already put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and grated 1 clove of garlic into this jar. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a little squirt of honey. Running low on honey here. There we go. And then I'm just going to do some Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper to taste. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. I forgot to say that. And then I'm just going to shake everything up in the jar. To assemble the Olive Garden salad, I just chopped up some romaine lettuce, red onions, tomatoes. These are some pepperoncinis, the croutons I made earlier, and then also some olives. We are not big olive fans, but I'm thinking if I slowly add some olives into some of our meals, we'll start to like them, and there's a lot of health benefits, so we'll see how it goes. This is the dressing that I made, and I'm just going to drizzle that over the top and toss. We are having halibut tonight. We have been trying to eat more seafood just because of all the health benefits. I've got about 1/4 of a cup of mayonnaise in here, and I'm going to add a little less than a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I'm going to add some lemon juice, maybe a little bit more. I'll taste and adjust at the end. This is basically going to go on top of the halibut. This is just going to be kind of a mayonnaise topping. We don't love seafood, but we're starting to like it more since I've been making it more. My boyfriend thinks that I'm getting better at making it, so that made me feel good. That's some parsley, shallot, and some green onion. I'm just going to mix that up and season with salt and pepper. I got this halibut on sale at Whole Foods. They do have sales on it every now and then, and it's wild caught, and they'll sell it for about $7 off per pound. So I think it was $23 per pound. And I'm just going to spread the sauce that I made all over the top, and I'm going to cook it in the oven at 400 for about 15 minutes and then broil it for a minute or 2. And I did taste this sauce, and it tastes amazing. So I'm hoping this is going to really make this halibut taste good. We are going to have some crispy potatoes as a side with our halibut tonight. I love this recipe. You will not believe how crispy these potatoes turn out. So I've got 2 pounds of russet potatoes that I'm going to peel and cut into kind of bite-sized pieces. And then in here, I've got some avocado oil, some smashed up garlic cloves, and some rosemary. I have it heating on medium-low. I'm going to let it go for about 10 minutes until everything's fragrant. And then I'm going to use that infused oil to cook the potatoes in. I cut the potatoes into irregular shapes, and now I've just got them in a pot of water, which I'm going to bring to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, I'm going to salt it heavily and then cook for 3 minutes and drain. They're not supposed to be cooked all the way through yet when I drain them out. I drained the potatoes and coated them in the oil, and then I'm going to season these with salt and pepper and put them in the oven at 450 for about 35 minutes. We're also going to have some asparagus with our halibut tonight. I just added some minced garlic. I'm going to drizzle over some avocado oil. I'm going to season with a little salt and pepper and then cook it for 7 minutes at 425, and then I will squeeze a little lemon on top. Here are our starter salads for tonight, the Copycat Olive Garden recipe, and my boyfriend saw the olives and he was not happy, so hopefully it goes okay. Tonight's dinner, the halibut with crispy roasted potatoes and roast asparagus. We are having pork burrito bowls for dinner, and maybe pork's something that you don't normally put on your burrito bowls, but it's really good. So I've got some boneless pork loin chop, that's a mouthful, in here seasoned with some salt, a teaspoon each of smoked paprika, chili powder, and cumin, and I'm just going to drizzle over some avocado oil. I'm doing this on both sides, rub that in, and then I'm going to wait for this to come to room temperature, and then I will cook it on the stove on medium-high heat, about 4 minutes per side. One of my favorite parts of a burrito bowl is the beans. Not only does it taste good, but you also get some extra fiber. So to add a little more flavor to my canned beans, what I like to do is melt some butter in a pan on medium heat, saute some onions with some salt for about 5 minutes. And if you have jalapeno, you can add that too, but I didn't have any. Then I add some garlic for about 30 seconds, along with some cumin, chili powder, and a little oregano. Saute that for 30 seconds, then add my beans. Normally I'll drain and rinse them in a colander, but I didn't feel like washing a colander today, so I just drained mine and tried and rinse them as best I could. Add your beans and some chicken broth, or you can just do water. Saute all that for a little bit, and then you can finish it off with some lime juice, and if you like cilantro, you can add that too. My boyfriend doesn't like it, so I just add mine separately at the end. Our burrito bowls are going to use cauliflower rice, and this is a recipe where you really can use cauliflower rice and you won't miss the regular rice. It tastes just as good, and you want to take your rice and literally throw it against the wall to get it all broken up. And what you're going to do first is I'm just preheating some avocado oil on medium heat. I'm going to add my onions and cook for 5 minutes with some salt and some red pepper flakes. Then I'm going to add my garlic and cook that for 2 minutes. Then I'll add my smoked paprika, chili powder, and cumin, about a teaspoon of each. Then I will go ahead and add in the cauliflower rice and cook it for 5 minutes. And at the end, I'm going to garnish with some lime zest, lime juice, and some fresh parsley. If you like cilantro, use that, but my boyfriend doesn't like it, so I'm using parsley.
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Cauliflower rice is done, so I just zested in some lime. I'm going to do some lime juice and the parsley. Hands down, my favorite way to make guac is putting some small chopped onions into a bowl with lime and salt and letting it sit. If you have jalapenos, you can also add those as well. And then going ahead and adding the avocado and mashing it up with the potato masher. I find that when I do it this way, it does not brown anywhere near as quickly and it tastes a lot better. If you like cilantro, you're definitely going to want to add some chopped cilantro to this as well. But like I mentioned, my boyfriend doesn't like it, so we make do. Our starter salad tonight is mixed greens with carrots, cucumbers, radish, celery, some sunflower seeds, and the Olive Garden dressing I made last night. Tonight's dinner is pork burrito bowls with cauliflower rice. We are going to have turkey pesto sandwiches tonight. It's going to have turkey, mozzarella cheese. I'm going to roast this bell pepper on the stove. It's going to have roasted pepper, some arugula, and then the pesto I'm going to make out of this mayonnaise I made the other day and some basil. Now, this baking mix is what inspired me to make these sandwiches. I got this on sale at Whole Foods. It has awesome ingredients, paleo ingredients. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the bread. Y'all, I'm kind of cracking up. The bread smells really good, but it didn't rise at all. And I guess that's to be expected with paleo bread. But just look at this is just like a regular chef's knife, and it's like the height of my knife. So hopefully I can form this into sandwiches. I'm just roasting this pepper for a couple minutes per side on the flame over medium-high heat. And then what I'm going to do is just place it into a bowl and cover it with aluminum foil and let it sit for 15 minutes and then just peel the outer layer off. To make the pesto, I'm just going to blend up some basil and mayonnaise. I also added a little salt because my mayo didn't have any salt. And I just try to put equal parts of each, and I'll just adjust if needed. We are going to have our sandwiches with a side of steamed broccoli. I just went ahead and cut these up over the weekend to get them meal prepped. And these chips are a competitor of Siete, so they were on sale at Whole Foods. It's the thin and crispy kind, so we'll see how those are. And the cool thing about these is that the ingredients, they use avocado oil instead of, another seed oil. I just tried a chip. Here's how they look, and I honestly think it tastes better than Siete. It tastes really similar to classic Lay's. Tonight for our starter salad, we're having the same copycat Olive Garden salad that we had a couple nights ago. Tonight's dinner is turkey pesto sandwiches with chips and broccoli. We are having beef kefta for dinner tonight, and I'm going to start by chopping up some red onion, garlic, parsley. I've got some Italian parsley and some curly parsley here, and some basil in a mini chopper. You can use mint instead of basil, but I didn't have that. I'm going to chop those up small. Then I'm going to add it into this bowl with the ground beef, some salt. This is the salt that I like to use. It's Celtic sea salt. It's unrefined. And some spices. I'm going to use smoked paprika, coriander, cumin, and some thyme. And then I'm also going to grate in a little bit of lemon zest.
Yeah, I got a question.
We are going to have some stuffed grape leaves on the side with our kefta tonight, and in here I'm just sauteing some onions until they're translucent. Once those are ready, I'm going to add in 3/4 cup of rice that I rinsed and dried. Then I'm also going to add, this is a mixture of some water and some lemon juice. I'm going to let that cook for a bit until the water's evaporated. The rice won't be cooked all the way through yet. In the meantime, I'm going to chop up some parsley and some dill in my mini chopper, and then that'll get added. And then I'm going to roll them all up in these grape leaves. This is just what they had available at my grocery store. So it's going to be a little bit of a long process, but these are going to be really good. The water in the rice is all evaporated, so it's time to add my fresh herbs. There's going to be a lot of fresh herbs, and then it's time to get rolling the grape leaves. I lined the bottom of a pan with some of the grape leaves, and I also rinsed them, and I've got them out on my cutting board. And what I'm going to do is for each grape leaf, I'm just going to get one. So they stick together and I'm kind of rushing. So ideally you'd have more time to be able to do a little bit better job on this, but just trying to go quick right now. So cut the little piece off the edge, get a little bit of your rice mixture, put it in, and then fold it up. Fold it over, and then I will put them into the, like I said, ideally, I'm just gonna, if you can even see it, it's right here. So I'm just gonna do that with all the grape leaves. Got them rolled. Some of them are definitely over rolled, and I did not do the cleanest job, but I just need to get it done. And I poured 1/2 cup of oil, 2 cups of water, and some lemon juice on top of them. And now I'm going to cover them with a plate to weight them down. And then I'm going to cook them for 45 minutes. The grape leaves are done cooking. I'm going to get them cooled down in the refrigerator. Okay, so my tips for the grape leaves are make sure you get a good brand of grape leaves. I think I could have gotten a little bit better quality grape leaves, so I'd probably research that a little more next time. Also, make sure you leave enough time, because not only do you have to roll the grape leaves and cook them for 45 minutes, but you also want them to get cooled down in the fridge because they taste better that way. This would actually be a really good thing to make for meal prep. I'm going to make a little tzatziki sauce for the kefta patties, and in here I just took 1 cucumber and I grated it, and then I squeezed out all the liquid. I'm going to grate in 1 clove of garlic, tablespoon of lemon juice, some dill, some Greek yogurt, salt, and a little extra virgin olive oil. We are also going to have some roasted tomato on the side, and my boyfriend's not a huge fan of this, but I think this kind of makes the dish. So I'm going to top these with some extra virgin olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, and I don't need to add sugar because my balsamic vinegar already has sugar added. If you see right there, it says cane sugar. And so I'm going to put these 2 on top, salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic. I'm going to roast them at 400 for 25 minutes, and then I'm going to top with a little fresh basil. I realized I don't have any salad dressing for tonight, so I had this leftover mayo from earlier this week, and I'm just going to put in some shallots, some lemon juice, white wine vinegar, and I'm also going to grate in some Parmesan to make kind of a creamy Parmesan vinaigrette. Tonight's starter salad is mixed greens with radish, carrot, celery, the creamy Parmesan dressing, and sunflower seeds. Tonight's dinner is beef kefta with tzatziki sauce, stuffed grape leaves, and roasted tomato. This is my boyfriend's plate, and I gave him the smallest tomato, so his tomato turned out pretty small. Tonight we are having a turmeric chicken and rice casserole. So what I'm going to do here is saute some diced onions. Then once that's ready, I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic, my spices, which is going to be the turmeric, some ginger, and some cumin. Then toast those for a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and take that off the heat, add in my coconut milk just to get it mixed through. I'm going to add all of that to a 9 by 13 inch casserole dish, along with some rinsed rice, some raisins, grated carrot. And I will mention that I do not peel my carrot because you get extra nutrients by leaving the skin on. It's not quite as pretty, but it's worth it for the nutrients in my opinion. And I also buy my carrots organic just because they're not that much more expensive than the conventional. Also going to add in some lime juice and some water into the casserole dish, and then I'll top it with some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. They were out of chicken breast, so I got the thighs, and I'm actually thinking it might be even better with the thighs. I'll go ahead and cook that in the oven, and then I'm going to top it with cilantro for me, and then green onions for my boyfriend who won't eat cilantro. He's missing out.
I got a question.
Tonight's salad is a mixed green salad with broccoli, radish, cucumber, mushrooms, the Parmesan dressing I made yesterday topped with some toasted almonds, and I also threw a little blue cheese on there because why not? Here's the completed chicken and rice casserole. Mine is the one with the cilantro, and my boyfriend's has the green onions. If you make this, I did have to cook mine for about 25 minutes longer than the recipe said to get the rice fully cooked through, and also I would recommend adding a decent amount more salt than the recipe calls for. Tonight we are having a bok choy tempeh stir fry for dinner. I'm going to use the Banza chickpea noodles for it. The main ingredients are going to be some bok choy, green onions, edamame, carrot, broccoli, mushrooms, and then some tempeh, which is basically a less processed version of tofu. I've actually never tried this before. It looks kind of funny. It looks like peanuts to me. But I'm going to start by bringing an inch of water to a boil. Then I'm going to put this in, cover it with a lid, and steam it for 10 minutes. And then I'll put some marinade on this and then cook it in the oven. I finished steaming the tempeh and I was supposed to cut it into little triangles like this, but I kind of didn't figure out till I was mostly done, so I didn't really get quite the right shape on some of these, but it's alright. So I just put it in a marinade of some avocado oil, sesame oil, tamari, maple syrup, sambal, little garlic powder, and some lime juice, and I'm just going to put it in the fridge for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to cook it in the oven at 400 for about 20 minutes. To make the sauce for the stir fry, I grated up some garlic and ginger in here. I'm going to add some tamari and coconut aminos, a little bit of soy sauce, some rice vinegar, a little bit of honey, some lime juice, and some more sambal, and that's going to be my sauce. I did not have it in me to make a salad tonight. I really wasn't feeling well today. Tonight's dinner is noodle stir fry with bok choy, carrots, mushrooms, tempeh, green onions, topped with sesame seeds. That's all I have for y'all today. If you like this video, please leave a comment. I love it when you leave me comments, and I hope you have a wonderful day.